Pacific Rim is no doubt one of the best, if not the best, monster vs. robot movies, and honestly, it still holds up today, being one of my favorite movies. As a die-hard fan for the first installment of the franchise, I absolutely love every aspect of the film, which led me to try my hand at creating my versions of the heroes, or yaegers. Those characters being Gipsy Danger, Crimson Typhoon, Striker Eureka, and Cherno Alpha. Beginning with the fan favorite Gipsy Danger, I would be lying if I said this wasn't my favorite Jaeger design, especially with details like her gold visor, aesthetic proportions, turbine chest hole, long slender legs, and captivating blue. With it being a scaled down model from my first two versions of Gipsy, I needed to prioritize the important and iconic details, and I think I was able to capture that vibe quite well. For accessories, I built her plasma cannon, sword, and boat sword. With this exceptional articulation and plethora of accessories, you can get her into any pose and she will look great. The second Jaeger I built was Crimson Typhoon, the Mark IV from China, piloted by the Wei-Tang triplets. This unique design with 3 arms is no doubt one of the coolest designs out of the 4. I'm really happy with how I was able to capture the head design, the shoulders, and the thighs. I was able to include the 2 stacks behind the neck and the 3 rockets on the back, along with its oddly proportioned legs. For accessories, I just put together a few plates for the thundercloud formation, and clipping them into the hands looks awesome. Crimson is probably the least mobile next to Cherno Alpha, but she can still pull off any pose you really want her to be in. The one downside is she can't turn around and rotate her waist like she did in the movie, but I think it looks pretty good nonetheless. The third Jaeger is the Mark V from Australia, Striker Eureka, the fastest Jaeger in production and likely the last Mark V, considering we don't really like the sequel. With a much more monochromatic color scheme, it's much more difficult to identify the unique details of this Jaeger, but since the silhouette is unique, I'll still point them out. I was able to keep the large rounded chest, the pointy shoulders, the sting blades, and all of the tan elements around the fists and the middle of the chest. For accessories, I was able to include the nuclear payload attached to the back and the end of the movie, the 6 chest cannons, which unfortunately have to replace the chest, and instead of going the parts forming route, I did include sting blades that actually transform. In terms of accessories, Striker Eureka uses them the best, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. The fourth and final Jaeger I built was Cherno Alpha, the Mark I from Russia, notorious for its heavily armored nuclear reactor head and brutal fighting mechanics. I absolutely love the design of this Jaeger, especially with its green, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get my hands on any olive green since it's quite an expensive color to obtain. Being an unconventional Mark I, the con pod does end up in the chest, with the little gold detail being the only real contrast this Jaeger has. Nonetheless, I was able to include the side pods on the shoulders, the large fists, the opening venting pods on the side of the torso, acting almost like a rib cage, and its extremely barrel-chested look with long, slender legs. Cherno Alpha is by far the least mobile of the four, but at least she still has an ab crunch. Overall, I'm really happy with how all four turned out. They're super articulated, super strong builds, they're super fun to mess around with, and they look awesome posed together. They're not too large, they all come with a good amount of accessories, except for Cherno Alpha, who doesn't really need any to look cool. And most of all, they're awesome desk toys. With that, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.